I'm Erin, the Two Martini Stitcher, both here on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm back! Oh my gosh, I am so glad to be back with you all today. It is Wednesday. It's Wednesday, April 28th. Tomorrow is my husband's birthday, and it has been 2 months since my last stitchy confession. To explain my absence the past couple months, the short story is that 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal affective, yeah, it's called a disorder, seasonal affective disorder. Most years, I managed just fine with a little light therapy and some supplements and some other things that I do with my therapist. And this year, it dragged me down hard. It's been a long time since seasonal depression got me that hard. And I think it was just a combination of long pandemic and regular winter blues, but it got me good this year. But I am finally digging myself back out. I feel like 90% back. And I want to just say thank you so much to every single person that messaged or commented or sent an email. And I know I did not respond to all of you. And for that, I truly apologize. It was just a matter of when the message came through, did I have any emotional or physical energy to respond to it that day? And anyone who has struggled with depression knows that sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But from the bottom of my heart, I'm getting a little choked up because from the bottom of my heart, they all helped. And I so appreciated every single person that checked in. So I've been here. The stitchy bug took a little bit of a hit, but I've been stitching. I haven't been writing things down as much. All of the usual rotation things I do kind of went out the window. If I had any urge to stitch, I just stitched on what I felt like that day. And so you're not going to see kind of like all the regular things. And honestly, the longer it went without recording, the harder it got to be to think of like, what do I even show? It's been 2 months. Everyone who does these things kind of sporadically, once I get out of a routine, I'm out. Oh, no cocktail today. Water. I had my second dose of COVID vaccine this morning. Yay, so exciting. So I'm dribbling water on myself. So I'm hydrating. I'm hydrating to hopefully I will avoid the worst of the side effects. But even if I have side effects, still thrilled to be vaccinated. And I believe in the power of water. So some water. Water today. What are we gonna show? Because it's been like 2 months. So here's what I decided I'm gonna show you today. I'm gonna show you all the things I started and all the things I finished, because that alone is a big tote of stuff. So we're gonna do starts, finishes, and some plans because it is the 28th. So it's gonna be May, and I'm really enjoying seeing everyone's plans for like their fun May plans, and I'll share what mine are. And it will involve some short clips every weekday again this year. All right, so let's see, what have I been doing for the past 2 months? So we're going to start with all the starts. Some of them are also finishes. The first thing, looking back, that luckily I did keep up my spreadsheet. That's the only thing I kept up. I didn't write my planner. This is how you know. This is how you know that Erin has been drugged down hard. She's not writing in her planner. I love a planner. However, I did keep up my spreadsheet. So that will be linked below if you need any of the information on linen or floss or designer. My WIP spreadsheet will be linked below in the description box, and it has all the information and probably more than you would ever want. And why do I have a needle on this? Don't know why I have a needle or needle minder on this, because this was a start at the beginning of March, And it's also a finish. I've now finished it. This is a Patreon exclusive from Ink Circles from Tracy Horner, and it's called Pretty Flaky. And actually, this is Ink Spot 21. I actually believe that she said on her Patreon that this is her new gift chart. So I think if you order from her, and I will link her Patreon and her shop below, I think that this might be the current like little freebie with purchase that she gives. I could be wrong. But some friends and I decided that we were going to do a monochromatic March Sal, and we were all going to stitch on a monochromatic piece. And I had really been wanting to do this one. So I started that and I finished it. Look how pretty it came out. So this is a piece of linen that a good friend dyed for me and sent me for my birthday. I've had a birthday since I've seen y'all. So, oh my gosh, I have reading glasses on my head. Well, this is 46, reading glasses on your head. Okay. So a dear friend sent me a little birthday package, and this piece of linen that I believe that she dyed, I think she said she dyed it, was in there. And so I paired it up with a Gloriana silk in Avonlea green. That was a gift from another stitchy friend. This was kind of like a little friend piece in my head. So I used that beautiful Gloriana, and I kind of think that I would like to do this 2 more times in like different kind of colors. Like this maybe feels a little like that kind of feels spring to me, the green. I don't know why. So I might do like spring, summer, fall, winter, or I don't know. I just think it would be really pretty to do. It was a really nice stitch. So that was a start and finish on Pretty Flaky by Ink Circles. I obviously haven't fully finished it at all. But I am contemplating stitching it a couple more times. It was a very quick stitch. Haha, it really was. Okay, my next new start that I wanted, it's not necessarily the next one, I don't think. Maybe it is. Was Heartstring Samplery Next Door. This is one that some friends and I are all going to stitch it and then do a little like exchange of it. None of us really are bound by the constraints of time and schedules when it comes to stitching. So who knows when that will actually happen, but the sentiment, I wish you lived next door, as soon as I saw this from Heartstring Samplery, knew I needed to stitch it. So this is being stitched on a 36 count linen in Egyptian sand, which I think is, oh yeah, Mountain Air Fabrics. I think that this was a like Nashville release last year. Like they were new at Nashville maybe last year, and I picked up this piece. I'm not even sure where, but there's my start on it. Get that up. It's really, this is a super fun stitch. It's just really whimsical and I really like it. It is charted in a bunch of weeks dye works, but I just kitted this all from stash. So here are my threads. So it's they'll all be listed on the spreadsheet, but there's some color and cotton in there. There's some classic color works, some gentle arts, but there is, I feel like I need to turn up my ring light, or I've got some weird light coming in from this side, but there is my fun, bright, I brightened it up just a little bit, just a hint. I brightened it up. But love this. Super, super fun stitch. So, you know, at some point I'll need to get around to finishing that. Probably when we decide that we're gonna exchange them, and then I work best on a deadline. I do work best on a deadline. All right. My next start was, because I've had this chart for a while and wanting to start it. Frogwarts Year 1. The Frogwarts Year 2 retreat is coming up with the Black Needle Society is coming up in July, beginning of July. And I haven't even done the Year 1 pattern, so I thought I better get started on it. I kind of in my head thought, oh, I'll start this and finish it by the second year retreat. You see my pathetic start. I don't know that you will agree, but there's my start. I've started it. However, this is going to get some love this weekend because I've clearly forgotten how to do a floss tube. We'll just talk about plans in the middle. This weekend is the Black Needle Society Up All Night retreat. That was a specialty box. I did an unboxing that's been up for channel members, but I will make that, I'll make that public for everybody to see, for everyone to see probably tomorrow, so that you all can see what came in the Up All Night box. It is a dance convention weekend for us. Dance conventions and competitions are actually happening this year. Never thought that that would be a thing, but they're happening. So it's a dance convention weekend. So I can't stay up for it's like a 24-hour up all night. Up all night is the theme. Online retreat. I can't do that but I'm going to pop in. I'm going to pop in for some of it, a little bit Friday night, a little bit Saturday morning. And this is the piece that I'm going to be working on, is the Frogwarts Year 1. I have lots of friends that are working on this that are way further ahead. It's pretty stitch heavy, but I think it's going to be a really fun stitch. I am doing this on Color and Cotton 36 count corn husk. So there's going to be 7 of these, obviously. 7 bucks, 7 retreats, 7 patterns. You can do them all as one piece. You can do them on a drum. I'm going to do them individually because let's face it, if I waited until they were all released and I finished them, it'd be a decade from now before this thing was hung up. So I'm going to do them individually so that I can maybe frame them and hang them up individually, and then when they're all done, I may seam them together in one long banner. But because of that, I wanted to at least pick a dyer and a count that I stuck with for all 7. And since I am in the Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month Club for 36 count, I have plenty of different shades of Color and Cotton 36 count, and so this is the one I picked for this year. I'm so excited for this is what I picked for year 1. Year 2 coming up. The pattern should be released soon, I think, because I think that they're releasing it early, so you can get started stitching it before the retreat. But that means I need to get a little further on this one first. So this one is going to get some work. It's a start. I think it's almost all called for. Flosses. I think I only had to make a couple substitutions for things that I didn't have, and the cool thing is, because the ladies at Black Needle Society are so smart, the year 2 pattern is the same floss list. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 extras, but essentially they're trying to use the same set of flosses for all of them. Smart ladies. So they'll all kind of go together and use the same set of floss. And it's of course it needed like Harry Potter. So this is a Love You More Studio book sleeve, and it works great as a project bag. You can tell it's like I've had it for a while because it's the older style with the patch on the bottom. But so there we go. So that's Frogwarts. This is the only one that I know the date I started it. On March 13th, as part of the hashtag It's Been a Hell of a Year, Sal, I started the 2020 Pandemic Sampler by Sarcy Girl. I chose March 13th because that was the last day last year that my kiddo had been in school. She since went back 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So for a full year, she was on online school. The one that's still in public high school. And so that seemed like the right a lot of people were kind of starting it as a 1 year. It's been a hell of a year, but this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous sampler. And I sprung for the Mrs. Sadis Conversion Silk Pack. They're beautiful. I love Mrs. Sadis silks. I highly recommend them. I am stitching this. This thing is huge though. It's huge. And wait till you see my roaring start. But I am stitching it on a 36 count linen in dark cobblestone. Like, this is how big it's going to be. It's not small, but here's my start. So there's my start. A little bit of border. I only worked on it that one day. But it started. It started. I'd rather be at Hogwarts. Than in quarantine. Than on stay-at-home orders, which we all were a year ago. Come a long way in a year. Come a long way in a year. Still a long way to go to get the whole world, to get everybody in the whole world vaccinated, which we in the US should be helping with. Starting to. Maybe still need to help some more. Okay. Quick on and off the soapbox. All right, next start, which I started this, I think, first day of spring. I think I started this on the first day of spring. I have this entire set from Hands On Design. It's a seasonal little set. I have the winter one. I don't know why it's not in here, but I started the spring. So it's called Garden Duet. And I am stitching this on some Bestitch Me linen, 32 count in the colorway Honey. And looks really weird, but there's the start. I think I only worked on this like 2 days. I was not doing well at the end of March, let me tell you. So, hey, that's actually not a bad start. And this is all charted in some Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works, and I just pulled colors that I thought was a similar palette from my stash. And so this is here's what I'm using. And that's all on the spreadsheet if you want to know the exact colors. But it's some Color and Cotton. Oh, this Fibrelicious Sage. Look how gorgeous and amazing that is. And then the two greens are both Fibrelicious. And then Olive Vines. Look how beautiful those greens are. And then a couple purples, a couple yellows, and a couple blues. Pretty, pretty, pretty. So I'm gonna start each one on, like, I'll start the summer one, first day of summer. Different fabrics, I think. But you know, normally I'd say, oh, I want to have the spring ones done before I start the summer ones. Real talk, that's not going to happen. But at least I'll get the series started this year. All right. Next up for a start, I finally started Dreaming Girl. Finally. I'm like so far behind. And did you see the new Barbara Anna Creative Poppy Cell? I think it starts May 1st. I'm totally buying it. I won't start it May 1st, I don't think. But it's Dreaming Garden. I can't keep up. Can't keep up with that woman. She's too amazing. So I am stitching this. Now here's the bonus of waiting for the entire stitch along to be out, is that you can do, I prefer a top left start. If you are a procrastinator and don't get started right away, then you can do a top left start. And I am stitching this on a piece of Color and Cotton that I got in a grab bag. So I think it's 36 count. I don't know, but I'm using called for colors-ish. I have a little conversion for the skin tone, but I haven't gotten there yet. But this is my start. So there's my start on Dreaming Girl. I love that fabric. That's right. That's about right. That's the color of the fabric. It's so good. So there you go. Finally started Dreaming Girl. Everybody else has finished her. Probably still be a whip next year for me, but hey, that's okay. I can't keep up with Barbara Anna, and I want to stitch them all. I will have to live forever. Okay. My next start was also a start and a finish. And I started this Easter weekend with my friend Deanna, Darling and Whimsy, for the Chocolate Bunny Sal, none of which I definitely did not have the energy to take pictures and post pictures to Instagram. I'm getting there though. I will be back on Instagram too. I just baby steps. Okay. So Chocolate Bunny, I had already stitched in December. I had done the Winter Cardinal. And so I put it on the same piece of fabric. And I'll do the other two. I want to do the fish and the owl. And these are all from last year's Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. So I get a hard copy, but if you purchase the printed copy, you get a login to the digital library so that you can print out just the patterns. I love that. And there's my Chocolate Bunny. Chocolate Bunny all finished. And when these are all done, I think that I have kind of an idea. I'm pretty sure I have a cute little like pencil holder type thing that I can magnet these two and switch them out. And this is Bee Stitch Me Ada and Outback Jack 16 count. So this is 16 count Ada, and I used Sticks and Twigs and Raspberry Parfait for that. So that was a start and a finish. Not on the same weekend. I thought it might be a weekend start and finish SAF, but it was not. And look at that. Another needle minder with a needle on it on a piece that I finished. Look how pretty that is. I put that one on it because that was gifted to me from Deanna, Darling Whimsy. She knows I love tea. She knows I love tea, so she sent me a little teacup. Okay. So that was the start and finish. I started a lot of things, but I finished a lot of things. So, all right, next up is Ink Circles Half the Fun. This came in the on-the-go stitching box from Black Needle Society, and that unboxing is up on the channel. So, I mean, y'all know my obsession with ink circles and travel. Ink circles and travel, yes, please, all the things. So started this right when the box came out, and I am stitching it on Color and Cotton 36 count Prairie Dust. So this is Color and Cotton Prairie Dust. And I am really praying I'm going to have enough of it, because if I don't, I'm going to be in big trouble. But I'm a Patreon of Tracy Horner's, which I know I've mentioned before. And she occasionally sends out like little gift packets to her Patreon subscribers. And she sent me this Carrie's Creation floss. It was in one of the little packets. I'm pretty sure it's 8 yards, which I think should be enough. So hopefully, because Carrie Creations does not die anymore. And this is sea green, limited edition sea green. So God help me if this is not gonna be enough. I'm actually trying to be frugal with my floss. And here is a start. So I have a little like motorbike, little plane. That's it. That's all I've got so far. But oh boy, am I excited to start traveling again. It's coming pretty soon. Pretty soon we're going to be able to travel again. I'm very excited. This may be just a travel project. This is like the ultimate. I mean, Black Needle Society nailed it with that box, with that travel on the go stitching box, because yeah, a monochromatic piece where all you need is like one floss is the perfect travel stitching. So, and this is in another Love You More Studio sleeve that was sent to me as a birthday gift. And look, it's friends. See, there's Monica and Chandler and Phoebe. Like, how cute is that? How cute is that? I love these sleeves. See, on the inside even says friends. I love the Love You More Studio Co sleeves. They make perfect little projects. Okay, things are tipping over. All right, this is the last start, and it almost made it to a start and finish. I'm really, really close. This was actually one of my projects called for April for WIPGO. I am failing hard at WIPGO, but it's fine because I'll either catch up or I won't. But so far, I'm not having a ton of success with WIPGO. But this one, I'm very excited because it's not a finish as I'm showing it to you right now, but it will be tonight. And this is Laundry Company. So if you've been around with me for a while, you know that I did self-service first, and this is fully finished and hanging in my laundry room. And then I did irony, the opposite of wrinkly, which is here. All done. But it needs to be fully finished. And the way that I fully finished this, I bought the same little washboard. I bought 3 of them. So I have everything to do the fully finish on all 3 the same. So irony was done, but I still needed to do Laundry Company, the never ending cycle. And so that was on my WIPGO board. And look how close I am. This is stitched, it just needs the back stitch. So I just have a little bit of detail, the bottom shelf and back stitching. Like this is getting finished tonight. And then that will be like my April, one of my numbers called and actually finished. So there we go. So this was my most recent, I lied, I have one more new start, but it's almost a finish. So next time I see you, I would like to promise that I will be back next week. I don't know that I will because of May festivities. I need to figure that out, but hopefully the next time, my plan is the next time I'm back, see like how they're, these will be fully finished, fully finished, and they'll all be hanging up in my laundry room, and I will have actually finished a series. May WIPGO numbers have been called, and the French Kitchen collection was one of mine that came up, and my goal was to finish one of them. So I actually have 2 finished. I have 2 that I need to do. So I started Pear and Rosemary, but it's like a sad little start. It's like a 1-strand start. So I need to decide if I'm going to pick that back up and finish it, or if I'm going to do Blueberry and Thyme because that's more summery. Most likely I'm going to do Blueberry and Thyme. Sorry about that. The postman dared to bring our packages up to the door. And our guard dog cannot have that. Okay, where was I? Oh, May WIPGO strawberry. No, not strawberries and mint. Strawberries and mint is done from the French Kitchen collection. I suspect that I'm probably going to start Blueberry and Thyme because I'm finding more and more that I am a seasonal stitcher. Like I like to stitch things in the season. And then, which as you may have noticed, means I don't always finish them right away because I sometimes put them down and don't come back to them until next season. This last start may be one of those things as well. So the last thing that I have started is Easter Hare by Barbara Anna, and this is in the spring edition this year, 2021 spring edition of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. And I did a Sulky conversion. For my birthday, I'm not going to do any haul in this or stash acquisitions in this video because it's been so long and things got put away or used as they came in. And one of the things that came in that I bought for myself for my birthday was the big cases of Sulky threads. So I did a Sulky conversion. This is the only thing with Sulky. Oh wait, here, maybe we'll do it this way. It's hard to show your threads, but there's a couple more. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, oh, oh. Can we do it? Can we do it? There. So there's my conversion to sulky for this piece. I think it was charted in DMC. Yeah, so it was all charted in DMC. So I got out my like DMC card, like the one that has all the threads. And then I just did a conversion to sulky, which I'm loving. And I am stitching it on a piece of 32 count linen. And I think this is lilac. I had used it, you can see, I had used it for the Easter Bunny holiday hoopla last year. And there's my start. So here is my start. It's just a really pale purple. So there's my start on Easter hair. It's that like, now you just know it, right? Like this like little berry vine and leaves from Barbara Anna, but it's a bunny in a dress. So of course have to stitch it. So that is my last start was Easter hair. Okay. So that's all the starts. I have also been on a finishing kick. What I found, you'll notice what is missing today. You might not notice, but what is missing today is any full coverage projects. I lost my mojo completely on my large full coverage pieces. I think when I get really down in a funk, when I have any urge to stitch, I need something that feels like I could potentially finish it. Like I need something smaller. Those big projects were just too daunting for my poor overtaxed brain to deal with. So I got on a big finishing kick. I decided I wanted to finish up some things. Particularly, I wanted to finish some things that were starts in May of last year. So last year, if you're newer and weren't around with me last year in May, I started 21 projects last year. I did one new start on every weekday in May. And so I wanted to focus on finishing some of those smaller ones because plans. We'll talk plans in a bit, but I wanted to show you first all of the things that I have finished since I saw you last. So the first thing, without a mouse. I finished without a mouse. A lot of these were pretty close. This one actually took a little more time in stitching because it was so dense, but here is my finish of without a mouse. That looks so amazing. This is on a 32 count linen in Cauldron by Picture This Plus. And Picture This Plus is not my favorite linen to stitch on by any means, but this colorway is everything. I love this colorway. So I have this other half and I kind of have an idea of what I want to stitch on this other half, but there is without a mouse. I do not know yet how I'm going to finish this. I don't know if I'm going to do it as like a flat fold, like a stand-up flat fold maybe, because I don't know that I want it framed. It's kind of big for a pillow, but I even did the little over one section at the bottom. This was a fun stitch. Super fun stitch. So without a mouse, and I stitched that in Gentle Arts Witching Hour. Oh, so good. That fabric is so good. And I think I had gotten that fabric in like Stash Unload when I first started buying fabric, and I kept it in just a little bendy flip. So there we go. In keeping with the Blackbird design finishes, I finished Blackbird. This is also a May start last year. I stitched this on 36 count Beach Brew in Classic Colorworks Blackbird. I should now that I'm showing this to you all, I should actually unkit these things and put all the flosses back. But here is my version of Blackbird. And this I think I am going to do as like a little like pin pillow. Actually, maybe I'll give this to Jolene at Acorns and Threads to do. I bet she'd do a pretty job with it. So there's my Blackbird. So pretty. Love that. That was just a really fun, sweet stitch. And the song gets stuck in my head every time I would stitch on it. Blackbird sing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings. Like that ran in my head the whole time I stitched that piece. I love that song. Okay. Next finish is my Stitcher's Heart. I started this little tomato pin cushion last year in May, and I finished stitching. It's not totally, it's finished. It's a finish. It's a finish. It needs a little back stitch border around it so that you can whip stitch through it for the fully finish. But I'll do that when I go to fully finish it. And this, she has a tutorial. Kathy does great tutorials on her YouTube on how to finish her pieces. So hopefully I can just follow that. This was a joy to stitch. I mean, first of all, the end product's going to be super, super cute. But if you want to talk about like mindless stitching, now that maybe retreats might start happening again next year, this would be easy retreat stitching, because once you get going, you don't really have to refer to the pattern. And it's, love this. This is Crab Cakes. Love this color. Classic Colorworks. Yeah. Classic Colorworks Crab Cakes. Looks great color. Okay. So I was super excited to finish this, because now I'm going to start the box top. Yay! And that'll get started next month in May. It's gonna be May. Okay. My next finish is kind of like there's a bit of a theme. So my next finish is Blackbird Designs Apple Orchard. So I started this in May of last year, but this is really kind of a bigger part of a bigger project for me. So I count this as a finish, but I also count all 4 of these as one whip, even though I haven't started them. So I picked 4 out of this Garden Club series that I wanted to stitch. And I have a finishing piece. It's like a reproduction, like window frame. Like it looks like a window pane, a 4-panel window pane that these are going to fit in beautifully. So I did Apple Orchard, and then the other ones I'm going to do are Garden Trellis, Basket of Cherries, but I think Fairy Garden. Fairy Garden is what I'm going to start in May. But here is my finish of Apple Orchard. I'm stitching this on 28 count linen in, I'm pretty sure this is platinum. I don't think it says. I'm pretty sure this is platinum. And there is Apple Orchard. And I did this all in called for. All called for colors. And it still feels really dark in here. It's very gray today. We've had gorgeous weather, but it's very gray today. So there's Apple Orchard. And up next will be Fairy Garden. And I'll still have plenty of this fabric left over, but so first one done. Hopefully it doesn't take me 4 years to finish all these, because they're not that big of charts, but who knows? Who knows? Oh, here, does it say? Yeah, platinum. It's 28 count platinum linen, called for threads. All right, so my last 2 finishes are actually FFOs, fully finished objects. So I not only finished these pieces, but I fully finished them. Miracle, right? Are y'all impressed? Okay, the first one is my only other success on WhipGo, and that is Latte, my little Mill Hill Latte kit. This was my like 3rd oldest whip too. So all the beading is done, and it's all, I had bought, this is the Mill Hill frame, which I have to say, it sits in there, I don't know. It's maybe not my favorite because look, it doesn't sit in there totally center, but whatever. It's fine. It's done is what it is. But I bought this Mill Hill frame and everything when I had purchased the kit. So I say it's fully finished, but I really just slapped it in the frame. It counts. It's sitting on my counter next to my coffee pot. So there it is. So cute. These really are super fun. Anytime I do these with the beading, I'm like, why don't I do these more often? And I like stitching on the perforated paper and everything. So that's done and sitting out in my little coffee corner. Our coffee pot is like on its last legs though. So my youngest wants to redo that whole little coffee corner with a new coffee machine, and she says make it look all cute. She likes that as an addition, but that whole little coffee corner might be getting a makeover as soon as we get a new machine, which needs to be soon. The girls and I like to do espresso. My husband likes to do drip coffee. We've had a Verissimo with the pods that does both. I want to get away from the pods. The machine's about to die. So if any of you have recommendations on like a grind and brew that does both espresso and drip coffee, let me know. Hit me up. I have a feeling it's going to be a spending machine. But we love our coffee around here. Okay. I'm so excited about this last one. This is the last one. I'm so excited about it. I finished Long and Winding Road on my shaker box. So this shaker box was my birthday gift last year from my husband. He ordered it. They're handmade. This is from Lone Elm. Yes, Lone Elm Lane. Like, please tell me it's on the bottom. They're not inexpensive, but they are handmade and they are gorgeous and beautifully made. And my Long and Winding Road is finished, and on the top of it, I am entranced with how this came out. I just love it. I made quite a few changes in colors. I didn't do the columns on the house. And I changed up a few, like what colors things were here and there, but I love the little eyelets, even my lazy daisies. I think this is only the second time I've ever tried them. They came out okay. I love this. I love everything about it. And so there it is in the shaker box. Oh, it's so good. I don't have anything in there yet. I have one little charm. That I should know what that goes to, and I don't. But I'm gonna figure out something. I actually think that I might put my like knitting notions in here. That's the other thing. I haven't been doing any knitting. I might be a winter knitter because I'm not feeling the urge to pick it up, even as my stitchy bug has come back. It's come roaring back in the past week. The stitchy bug has, but the knitting hasn't. And so it either will, or it might be something that I just feel like doing in the winter. We'll see, because this is the first year I've been knitting. But I think that this would be perfect to put like all my little stitch markers and my knitting notions in. So love it. It's fantastic. So that was a good amount of finishes, right? All right. So with that said, I would say we've done everything, but we only did starts and finishes because that's, I mean, look, 43 minutes. That's plenty of stitching to look at, don't we think? I don't have any stash acquisitions. I really didn't do much purchasing. There hasn't been hardly anything to show. My thread and fabric clubs have come in. That's pretty much it. And I bought the Sulky. There you go. You're all caught up. This is how you know, see, signs that Erin has fallen into a major depression. Not shopping, not writing in her planner. Much better now. I have fantastic support. Which is why a couple months later I am bouncing back because I have fantastic support. So let me just say, get the help that you need. If I can do anything, I want to reduce that stigma. Get the help you need. And hopefully you have people around you that can help you do that. So, yeah, so no haul. Also, no giveaway. I know there are like 6 of you that have been waiting for giveaways from me from January and February, and they went out in the mail this week. So they're headed your way. But I wasn't like, I don't want to have more stuff sitting here. So I think we're going to get through May, and we'll talk plans in just a second. And then I will come back with regular giveaways after May. But it's coming. So what are my plans for this year? I think all of the May festivities are super, super fun. I love everybody's take on them. Lindy Stitches does like a Stitch Sania where she works on a whip during the week, and if she like meets her goal for that whip, she has a new start on the weekend. Some people do monogamous May and just stitch on one thing. I am going with the Blimey Cat, the Blimey Cat approach, which is the brainchild of Ingleside Imaginarium. I'll link her below. Where I started the 21 projects last year. So this year, if that project is still a whip, I will stitch on that project on essentially its birthday, which I do for all of my whips. So this seemed like the natural way to handle May festivities was to keep doing that, to stitch on things on their birthday if they're still a whip. Now, if I finish that project, hence the finish frenzy, then I can have a new start in its place. Now, it's not going to be on the exact date because last year I did 21 new starts on the 21 weekdays. This year, it turns out May has 21 weekdays again, but they're not, of course, the same exact date. So I'm just kind of shifting everything. So my very first May start last year was actually without a mouse. And so the first weekday in May, which is a Monday, next Monday, it's this coming Monday, I'll have a new start because I finished without a mouse. And then the second weekday, I'll either work on the second project or have a new start. So I have 9 new starts and 11 whips for May. And then on the weekends, I will either work on, I think I only have one whip left, which is the Friends Collage with a May birthday outside of those 21. So one weekend I'll work on Friends Collage. This weekend I'm going to work on Frogwarts. And then we'll see what comes later. I definitely do have other things that I want and need to work on. So I'm still flying by the seat of my pants a little bit. However, I did some kitted stash dives videos for channel members, and I will next week start make those public for everybody, where we went through all of my kitted projects to figure out what I would start in May. And the upshot is there's too many wonderful things. So there were a few things that I knew I absolutely wanted to start, but there's also going to be a tiny bit of wheel spinning again this year because I can't decide. There's too many good projects. There's too many fun things to stitch. I have to leave it up to fate in some instances. So starting on Monday, I will be here every day just with a short clip to show you what I worked on the day before or the weekend before. So on Monday, I will be back and you will see my progress on Frogwarts and also what I'm going to be starting that day or working on as a whip for that day. So this was so fun. It was one of the highlights of my year last year. Certainly in the middle of the beginning, we were still kind of really in the beginning of the pandemic last year in May. And it was one of the highlights of my year was all those starts and doing the short little daily little vlog videos. So I'll be back with that this year. And it's good to be back. Thank you again to everyone that reached out. There's a little comic that I love where one, it's like 2 little animals, and one says to the other, are you okay? And the other animal says, no. And they say, can I help? And the animal that's not okay says, no, there's nothing you can do to help, but knowing that you want to help helps. I hope that made sense. Um, if I can find a copy of it, I'll pop it in here. That's how I felt. Everybody who reached out, there was nothing you could do to help, and I really do apologize if I did not respond, but knowing that you all were thinking of me and wanted to help helped. So, but now I'm back. I'm back and I'm so thrilled to be back and catching up with everybody. I'm thankful. I'm thankful and grateful for this community because it was something that kept me grounded and connected in a time that it would have been very easy to, even though it didn't seem like even though I was not reciprocating the connection, I felt it and I appreciate it. And I will be back on Monday with a short clip. I don't know when I'll be back with a regular Flosstube update. Last year in May, I did not do regular weekly updates. I just did those weekday videos, and that may be the case this year. So until I see you again, cheers.